Alright guys, so welcome to today's video, and in today's video we will work on this JOJO game right here, and in the last episode we have worked on this data store, as you can see, or as you should have seen in the last episode of this JOJO series. And in today's video we will probably work on some moves, so I thought about creating a basic stand combat, so punch and kick, and also some basic movesets such as the punch barrage, and yeah. So that's the plan for today's video, and in the next episode, well, I don't know, we might actually start with the work on, yeah, on a certain stand, okay? So if you have any ideas on a stand we could possibly create in the next episodes, then comment them in the description, so we can actually start to work on them. So talking about stands like World, Star Platinum, Crazy Diamond, or yeah, it depends on you. So what stand you guys want to see? Okay, but there's still some things, well, not wrong, but we can still tune up some things. Okay. Yeah, so I just wanted to add this little effect right here to make, come on, to make this stand move a little bit up and down, you know. Because for some reason we were unable to do that in the last episode. The animation editor was just glitching around and we weren't actually able to do that. But okay, so there we go. So that's our stand right here, and we'll now work on some basic combat moves. Alright, so let's open up this animation editor again and let's create a completely new animation. So punch 1, and let's work on this one. Okay, so let's change this to rotate, and let's, okay, so come on, so why am I unable to click on this lower arm? Come on. Why is it always happening with this plugin? Okay, so that's a possible burst attack right here. Okay. Make sure that the animation priority is set to action and that it is not looped, and then you can just feel free to export everything. So, okay, save new asset, punch 1, stand. Okay, do not forget to copy the ID, and there we go. Punch 1, Okay, so I'm typing them, or I'm saving them down below here in this executor bar. And I'm now gonna create the next animation. Combat, okay, 21. Well, I wanted to write combat 2, but okay. Why am I unable to click this thing? Like, there is no actual reason for this. Okay, so that's a possible second animation. So export this thing again, make sure priority is set to action. And yeah, copy the animation ID again. Well, not punch. Well, it is not actually a punch, but it is more... it's more like a combat action, you know? Okay, so now the third one we are going to create is going to be a kick. So kick 1, create, and yeah, so... Okay, so I'm able to select multiple things right here. There was probably no stand who or which just kicked like this, you know. So of course those animations are fictional. Okay, so I cannot remember any stand who has kicked like that, for example. And yeah, so do the same as before. Set the animation priority to action. Export this whole thing and save the animation ID right here. Okay, so now we have gathered some animation IDs. We could now work on the punch barrage, so on the animation, of course. Let's actually do that because we'll save a lot of work by doing that. So punch barrage 1.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys. It sound right, boys.
Hmm. Yeah, so there we go. So that's our punch barrage, but the issue is that it looks pretty weird, okay? So we somehow need to take care of that. You know what? Let's just save this thing as it is currently, and let's focus on the basic combat first of all. Okay, so let's go inside of the stand controller script because that's the script which detects our inputs, okay? And we of course want to be able to, yeah, do our moves by pressing a certain key or by pressing the mouse button, for example, and we of course need the code which recognizes that. So as you can see, input began, so you guys should know what this script is all about. And therefore, I'm just gonna do a second case, a possible second case. So else if input mouse, no, user input, I don't know, was it type? User okay. Type mouse button 1. Then remote
It sound right, boy.
combat. Okay, so Let me explain this line right here. So we are basically checking that if our input dot user input type, so do not ask me why, you just have to write it this way, equals unum user input type again and mouse button. So we are basically checking if our input is our mouse button 1, which is our left mouse button. So if that's the case, then we are going to fire server this remote event you guys should be aware of with the argument combat. Means we need to add another line right here which checks for that case. So else if what equals combat then, and then we need to work on our combat. Okay, so what do we have to do in order to do our combat? We of course need to put our stand in front of us, and we need to make the animation play, and we need to deal the damage, and we need to put the stand back to where it formerly was. Alright, but how is this going to work out? So, we first of all need to take a look at a few things. So, we have our belt right here, which is going to be important, because we need to change the positioning of the stand. Therefore, we need to use veld, or at least C1 of this veld, which is the C frame of the part 1, which is part of the stand. You know, so you should be aware of what you have done in this line in these lines right here, because I have explained them already. So we are basically going to play around with the C frame as we have done down here, with the only difference that our values are different. Okay, so let's take this tween. Let's do it this way. Wait. -1, 2. I think that those values should be the correct ones. Let's see. So, Q and that because instance is null. Yeah, okay. We have of course forgot to do the following. So the local stand character find first child test stand. If stand, then we can continue. I'm gonna explain this. I'm gonna explain everything, do not worry. Okay, let's check this out again. Okay, there we go. So we can now put the stand in front of us. We just need to make this a lot faster. And let's increase the distance between the stand and us. And let's even maybe decrease the height. Okay, let me explain you what I have done down here. So the first line basically defines a new variable which contains, or which tries to refer to the stand, which is supposed to be inside of the character. So character find first child test stand, okay? And if the stand is there, means we have our stand equipped, then we can continue with this tween down here. And I have changed W to stand.veld, but those are the same things. So W is just the variable for our veld, which we have within this, let's say, frame, okay? Within this frame of code, within this case, okay? And the only reason why I cannot use W is that we have no W veld variable defined down here, okay? So I'm just directly referring to it. But those two instances we are referring to, either W or stand.veld, are the same instances, okay? So don't worry. And yeah, so We have now put the stand in front of us. We now need to create an animation and make the animation play. Okay, wait. Where is it? A loader. Stand on idle. Okay, we could do the following. So let me clone this idle right here. Let me call this one combat 1. And let me give it the animation ID of our punch 1. Now let me call this combat 2. Let me give it the animation ID of our combat 2. And let me call this one combat 3, so duplicate it again. And let me give it this one the animation ID of our kick 1. Okay, so we have now 3 animations which contain basic combat animations. And we could now do the following. So, wait. For Ivy and pairs, there are probably some better methods to do this, but I'm gonna do it this way. Stand get children do if string wait. Okay, if string find v dot name is not nil, then I have to add a table up here. Local animations, which is going to be empty, so I'm going to explain everything, do not worry. Animations plus 1 equals v. And now we need to get this loader. Animations. Math random. Animations. Spawn function. Wait 1. Loader stop. Okay, let's see how this is going to look like. Find string expected. Missing argument 2. String s, string pattern. Oh yeah. Of course. Where is it? Combat. Yeah. Forgot to add that, I'm sorry. Okay, we should have done the following first of all. In pairs. Stand animation controller. Get all playing animation tracks. Do. Enums stop. I'm curious if this is going to work out as expected, but it should. Yeah, of course not. Get no. Yeah, okay. It was spelled without this all, I think. So get playing animation tracks only.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
Okay, yeah. So wait, still gotta do some stuff before I'm able to explain it to you. Stand idle. Okay, loader 2, come on. Okay, so that's the animation playing part. Loader stopped. Wait. Wait. Okay, so let me explain you what I have just done. So I have made this empty table right here, which is going to store every combat animation which we want to use or which we want to be able to be used. And down here, we are using this for Ivy and Paris loop, and we are looping through all of the playing animation tracks currently, and we can gain access to those playing animations by referring to the stand animation controller, which is this instance right here. And we are basically looping through it, and we are stopping every animation which is inside of it, which is wrong because, well, maybe in this case not, but in other cases we should exactly check for what we want to disable as an animation. So let me explain you the idea behind of this. So why do I want to disable every playing animation before I load a new animation? So the issue is that you guys might have noticed it when I have the idling animation currently played and I try to play another animation on top of the idling animation, those two interrupt each other. So you have some parts from your old idling animation and your new combat animation mixed together, and it just looks like, or it looks very weird, okay? And you do not expect them to look like that, and you do not want them to look like that. Therefore, I intend to, or I at least intended to disable or unload the idling animation by doing so. And the check I was talking about, so you could check that if the current playing animation, so if its name is actually idle, okay, so that you really disable or unload or stop the idling animation from playing instead of any other important animation. But in this case, we have a stand which has no other animations playing. Therefore, you can, well, you can ignore this check if you want to. But you might, well, I'm not sure, but I think that this check is unnecessary in this case. Okay, so let's continue with this code right here. What this code basically does is that it fills this empty table with animations, yeah, which we are able to pick one out of and which we are able to play later on. So how does this really happen? We have this for Ivy and Paris loop once again, and we are getting every... Wait. Okay, yeah. We are getting every children. No, not every children. We are getting the children, means all of the instances which you can, which are superficial, so which you can, which I have just marked. Okay, so you get every one of them, and you check if one of those instances contains combat as their name. So let me explain you how string find works. So string find needs the string it is supposed to check and the string it is looking for, and then there are some more arguments which we can ignore for this case. And when it has found something, so when it has found a certain string within a certain string, means if it has found a certain pattern we are looking for, in our case combat, in a certain string, then it is going to return the numbers, so the index. Let's say that your pattern starts at the second character and goes from the fifth character to your within your string, okay? And that's basically what is being returned with the string find. And by checking the return means if this operation right here returns something, then you know that there are some starting and ending points of your characters means there is this pattern contained inside of the string, means you have found the animation you want to put inside, because all of our combat animations have or contain combat in their names. Okay, so in order to make an animation able to be played through this basic combat, you need to make sure that they all contain combat in their names. Okay, and we are basically adding this animation, so the instance, of course, inside of this table, by referring to the animation and then by referring to a certain index, which is the current amount of values inside of this table plus 1. Means in this case 0 because it is empty, plus 1. So the first spot is being filled up with the first animation. Now, if we continue the loop, you have one value plus 1 means 2. So the second spot is being filled up with the next animation and so on, okay? That's the idea behind of this method. And down here, we are loading everything, so you should know, so you should know about this loader. The only difference from above here is that we are randomly picking one of those animations. Yeah, so we're randomly picking them out. And we are referring to this table once again, and then to a certain index, which is random. So math random goes from 1 to the total amount of values inside of here. So let's say that you have 3, so 1 and 3. And it chooses a random number out of 1 and 3. Okay? And at the end, let's say that this right here results in 2, so animations, then those brackets 2, means it is going to pick the animation which is saved on the second spot of this table, and it is going to play that. And down here we have the spawn function, which basically makes this stuff right here run in the background, which makes us able to do some more stuff while it is waiting, okay? Because you guys know that when you're waiting within a script, that the whole script just pauses till this wait is over, and we are now bypassing that by using the spawn function. And down here we are basically waiting for the combat animation to stop, and if that happened, then we want to stop it by applying the stop, and then we are just playing this idle animation as we have done above here. So you should, well, where is it? Yeah, right here. So you should know about this one. Okay, now the next thing we would have taken care about is the damage dealing part. And I think that we will do this in the next episode, because we do not have enough time left now. So let's do that in the next episode, guys, because the damage dealing part might be a little bit more complicated, but we have already done it. Well, at least I'm talking to my One Piece Season 2 viewers, because they should know how the damage dealing part within the combat system works. So I'm gonna use raycasting to do that. So if you watch my videos, then you should know about it. Okay. So thank you for watching, guys. If you have liked this video, then please leave a like, subscribe, share this video to all of your friends. Give me feedback in the comment section. Give me some ideas on stands I can possibly do in the next episodes in the comments as well. And yeah, take care. See you in the next video, guys.